We're down there.
Okay, and you receive on a yearly basis a big box from another famous Tom Cruise.
Oh.
Just tell it, because it's Christmas. Tell
Now,
us.
I'm not the only one.
All
All right. Okay, so
Really?
Mr. Cruise, God bless him, sends this out to an awful lot of people. But
Yes.
there is a type of that may be the most what's the word I'm looking for? It is the most you'll ever have on your planet.
Irresistible.
It is so dense.
Yes.
There are friendships in Hollywood that feel manufactured, almost staged. Actors smiling for cameras, pretending to be closer than they really are. But then there are the rare ones, the strange ones, the ones that slip under the radar and become legend in the most unexpected ways. And somehow, in a universe filled with billion-dollar blockbusters, award shows, scandals, feuds, and reboots, one of the most fascinating Hollywood traditions revolves around something as simple as a cake. Not just any cake, the Tom Cruise cake, a dessert so famous, so coveted, so mysteriously adored that it has developed its own mythology inside Hollywood's most elite circles. And for years, fans had no idea this ritual even existed, until Tom Hanks finally broke the silence and revealed the bizarre truth about the Christmas gift he receives every year from Tom Cruise.
It is a vanilla coconut bundt cake.
Right.
That may be the most what's the word I'm looking for? It is the most delicious cake you will ever have on your planet.
Irresistible.
It is so dense.
Yes.
It started quietly. No big announcement, no press release, no bragging, just a package that arrived every December like clockwork. A heavy white box from an unassuming bakery in Woodland Hills, California. A box that the staff at Hanks' production office began treating with the same anticipation as kids waiting for Santa. And inside that box, a $110 white chocolate coconut bundt cake that has now achieved cult status. A dessert so indulgent, so famously addictive that Tom Hanks himself admits you can only eat it once a year or risk falling under its spell. But the strangest part isn't the cake itself, it's who sends it, and why almost no one has ever said no to it. For years, Tom Cruise has maintained a tradition that feels more like a secret handshake than a holiday gift, sending this exact cake to a select list of actors, directors, comedians, and industry friends he respects. And once you're on the list, you stay on it. Hanks calls it the Tom Cruise cake, Rosie O'Donnell calls it Tommy's gift, and everyone who receives it talks about it like it's a treasure. But the deeper the story goes, the weirder it becomes, because Tom Cruise doesn't eat sugar, he doesn't indulge, he doesn't have cheat days, he sends the cake, but he never eats it. A holiday tradition built entirely around a dessert the man refuses to touch. That alone would be weird enough, but Tom Hanks' version of the story makes it even more intriguing, because for him, the cake isn't just a gift, it has become an annual ritual, a countdown, an office-wide phenomenon that borders on obsession. When Hanks sat down on Mythical Kitchen's last meals, he didn't just talk about it, he praised it like it was sacred. The actor went down his list of ultimate foods: challah French toast, an In-N-Out double-double, Greek salad with calamari, taramasalata, dishes that carry history and nostalgia, and then, with a grin, casually dropped the name that made the internet explode. Every year at Christmas, Tom Cruise sends us this cake, and suddenly the room shifted, because when Tom Hanks name drops, it isn't bragging, it's storytelling. He reveals just enough to make you want to lean in closer. He described the cake like a rare artifact, a white chocolate bundt cake covered in shredded coconut flakes, so rich and so dangerously good that the entire Playtone office begins monitoring the mail the moment December arrives. People start whispering, checking tracking numbers, asking if the box has arrived. It's not just dessert, it's an event. The moment the tape is peeled back and the lid comes off, the room changes. The first slices are normal, respectful, generous. But as the days pass, a strange psychological shift takes place. People start cutting slices thinner, and then impossibly thin. Not because they want smaller pieces, but because no one wants to be the one responsible for finishing it. Hanks laughs while describing it, but you can tell it's real.
First of all, the staff down at Playtone all fight over it because it's round, it's a bundt cake, it's got a hole in the middle, so no one wants to be the last person to take a slice.
Yeah.
So it gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner as everybody is grabbing a little bit of it. So it's like razor thin at some point. But it is so dense that if you have a bite of it in your mouth, right? And someone says, "What are you eating?" You have to It's taku cake. It is like eating a brick, a sweet, delicious coconut-filled vanilla brick that, look, I have type 2 diabetes, so I have to be careful of my sugar intake, but I let it go when it comes around to taku cake. You gotta have
the
some of that.
chocolates in Forrest Gump, were they sugar-free?
Not at that time. I didn't know I was pre-diabetic at the time.
Okay, got it.
It becomes a math problem, a survival strategy, a rule. Never be the person who ends the Tom Cruise cake. According to him, they eventually start slicing it so delicately, so microscopically, that it becomes a running joke. The idea that theoretically, if you just keep cutting it in half, the cake will last forever. But why a coconut cake? Why a bundt cake? Why from a small mom and pop bakery in the valley? Why is Tom Cruise, a man who famously doesn't consume sugar, sending one of the sweetest cakes in California to half of Hollywood like a yearly ritual? The answer lies in what people who know Cruise say about him, that he's oddly meticulous, extremely thoughtful, and obsessed with consistency. Once he finds something that works, he commits to it with the same intensity he brings to sprinting across rooftops and hanging off airplanes. So when Tom Cruise discovered Doan's Bakery's coconut cake, when he tasted it once decades ago and decided it was the perfect dessert, that was it. The tradition began. It became his signature gift, the annual gesture that quietly reinforces his relationships in an industry built on short attention spans and shifting loyalties. And here's the twist, only certain people receive it. It's not sent to just anyone. You cannot request it. You cannot buy your way onto the list. You don't even know you're on the list until the box shows up. Hank's got one. Rosie O'Donnell gets one every year. Barbara Walters had one. Angela Bassett, Kirsten Dunst, Jimmy Fallon, Graham Norton. The list reads like a secret society. Some actors say the cake is the only contact they have with Cruise all year. Others joke that receiving the cake is a symbol, acknowledgement from Hollywood's most intense perfectionist, an invitation to stay in his orbit. But Tom Hanks' story hints at something deeper, because he talks about the cake the way people talk about tradition, something comforting, something predictable, something that arrives right when the world feels most out of control. For Hanks, it's almost poetic. The biggest movie star in the world sends him a coconut cake every Christmas, and it has become a marker of time, a reminder that another year has passed, a symbol that despite schedules, fame, distance, and careers that take them around the world, some friendships maintain their own strange gravity. And maybe that's what makes the whole thing so fascinating. Not the cake, not the price, not the bakery, not even the celebrity behind it. It's the human part. The fact that even in Hollywood, a place built on competition and reinvention, there are still rituals that feel deeply personal. A-list actors still get excited about a dessert. Grown adults hover around an office kitchen waiting for a cake from a man who does his own stunts. And Tom Hanks, one of the most respected actors of his generation, still lights up when he talks about receiving a coconut cake in the mail. Rosie O'Donnell says the same thing. When her cake arrives, she posts it instantly. "My Tommy sent me a coconut cake. I love that guy." That's what this tradition does. It softens people. It disarms them. It makes them talk like friends, not celebrities. And maybe that's the real secret. Tom Cruise isn't just sending dessert, he's sending connection. Hollywood friendships often crumble under pressure. Dates are forgotten. Calls don't get returned. Careers soar and collapse. People move on. But a ritual endures. The Tom Cruise cake is strange. It's random. It's sugary. It's excessive. It's iconic. And yet it says more about Hollywood relationships than any headline ever could. Because in an industry where everything changes, the strangest thing of all is something that stays exactly the same every December, every year, without fail. A white box arrives. Someone whispers, "It's here." People gather. Slices thin out, and somewhere on a film set or in a mansion or in a private jet crossing the Atlantic at midnight, Tom Cruise smiles, knowing his tradition has once again made its way to the people he keeps close in the quiet, unusual way only he would choose. And Tom Hanks, he'll take a slice, maybe two, stretch it out as long as mathematically possible, and enjoy the one holiday treat he knows he can count on forever.